No, I'm just kidding. I was miming. We are live. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, it's Tom.
And Galen. Tom.
Right. Welcome to our ceremonial smelling of the 420. Now, in the past, when the lab has released 420 fragrances, I don't know how many times we've done this at this point, but we would get nice and toasty ahead of filming so that we could just be silly, right? And it would be part of the spirit of the, the holiday, the high holidays.
You get into character.
Right. I think we stopped doing that because that was back when we were editing the videos and we could actually, hi Brianna.
We could, edit the...
Brianna, you are now in a room alone with us because no one else is watching except for time travelers from the future. And I don't know who they are or how many they are. But anyway, we can't, since we're doing live streams now, and we can't edit it into something actually viewable or like safe to air, then we're just not imbibing ahead of time, right? I didn't, did you?
A little more focused. I have coffee.
Okay, we are powering.
High on coffee.
Powering through on caffeine, good vibes, and whatever CBD is left over in my system from yesterday. Now, before we get started, right before we filmed, I want to start with a tangent.
Oh, dear.
Which is also completely normal if you're watching this for the first time. In fact, we virtually never actually smell perfumes or discuss them. Basically, this is it. But who else remembers the olden times, like in the 80s?
Who else remembers the old?
Who else? Let's start there. Who remembers the 80s? Because there are probably people who are around who don't remember them, especially if you're watching a 420 perfume video. Chances are you barely remember your social security number.
I was there.
Yeah, so who remembers the hula hoops that you used to be able to buy, like in the drugstore or like the everyday toy stores, that were like the white and red or pink candy striped hula hoops that had a hole in them that you could smell, and it smelled like peppermint? Is this ringing a bell for anyone? Does anyone else, did I manufacture this memory from some kind of strange, like Black Mirror download because there's like a glitch in my simulation processing hardware?
And the reason we're asking is because Tom brought this up to me and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, and you were born 10 years after I was.
Right.
And hula hoop technology may have evolved substantially since then. For all I know, it's like a thing where it's like, oh yeah, there was like cocaine in the hula hoops back then, and it was completely normal. Someone says, I was born in 71, but I don't remember those. Oh, no.
I was not much of a hula hooping child either, so that's like
I can't imagine that you were.
Sorry,
Can
I
you
just
imagine?
don't know.
You're so easy. You're like a horse. You're like easily spooked by like movements and noises and events. My hula hoop faves were weighted with a little water and beads, and it faded before I could finish reading it. So does no one else remember the peppermint hula hoops?
This might just be you, or maybe it's like an Arizona speciality.
I could Google it. I hate how much time we spend Googling things like while live streaming, but that's just the way it works. Thank you for picking dog hair off me. Hula hoop, peppermint. 1982 Whammo peppermint hula hoop commercial.
Okay, you are right.
There's
like real.
It was a real thing, but like people also ask, can hula hooping slim your waist? I guess you can buy them from eBay. Peppermint hula hoops. So I never saw a commercial for a peppermint hula hoop. I only just like experienced them. So I was addicted when I used to go to my great grandparents' house. My great grandfather had one of those like nose like sticks that's like for your sinuses that has like menthol and you can like smell it. And I used to love to smell it because I've always basically been elderly since I was a tiny child. And I was like obsessed with this.
And you love mint.
The hula hoop thing was exactly the same. It was like a hard-hitting dose of peppermint, like right to the sinuses. So at least now because of the internet, I no longer need validation from my peers, which I guess is how that works for anyone. All this came up because I happen to own this like really nasty like giant hula hoop. There's not room for me. Again, I'll just like scare Galen, but I have one and it smells like nothing. and I don't remember where I got it. And I always hoped to eventually live somewhere with more space where I could hula hoop. But I would also have to be a place where, I don't know, I'm comfortable being like a person in my 40s who hula hoops in public.
Do it on
the roof.
Balcony. On the roof. Hula hoop on the roof. Get out of my way.
They're gonna, like, the police sniper's gonna take me down.
Like, someone is hula hooping on the roof.
So, well, look,
Dangerous.
I offered you a tangent, and you, 10 of you, live now, accepted the challenge. And so what say we smell some of this year's 420 perfume offerings, shall we? Bit of basic info before starting is that the lab's cannabis accord and other various weedy perfume elements do not contain any actual cannabis. They cannot get you high.
It's just a scent.
They might get you pulled over. I don't know. Well, I guess, I mean, if
You'd have to really be like cranking it out of the
the
car.
windows roll down and like you're just leaving a green trail. Anyway, it's not real drugs. It just has like a beautiful essence of the ganj. And it does show up in the lab's collection in other places, not necessarily for 420, but we have been over the years periodically been doing these 420 releases that are just special outings. And so these were the ones that came out this week. There are 3. We have them here. They are already available online. We didn't do like a Sunday launch. And part of what hastened them is we popped them out with this new Lunacy launch that came out just yesterday. And we're gonna be selling them in person. This is relevant to probably very few of you who are watching live, and a vanishingly small percentage of people who are watching from the future remotely. But like Galen and I, now that we're settled in Minneapolis, we're starting to do some live events. And our very first one is this weekend on 420, which is also Easter Sunday. Take that, Transgender Day of Visibility. Now there's a new holiday interloper in town. The conservatives don't seem to care this time because it was never about sincere protection of Easter holiday observance. Anyway, a wonderful local store here in Minneapolis called Odd Mart, which we love to go visit, is having a Sunday marketplace event, and we have been invited to go and basically table the event. We're hoping to do Lunacy events and the whole thing there. We're going to, for now, just limit ourselves to a few items, but we have a stash of the 420 fragrances. And there's going to be mostly people there who've never heard of BPAL before and are going to be new to oil-based perfume in general. And I'm just going to have to get used to explaining the same few things over and over again, probably. And we'll see what everyone thinks. But that means that basically anyone could come and buy the perfume from us directly this weekend.
It's true.
How are you feeling about that? A little scared?
Yeah.
Like literally anyone from the internet.
Right.
Right.
Like, I've been so excited to meet you, and I'll be
like someone's gonna like drive from Florida
go.
on Saturday, like wearing diapers, and just like make the road trip in
I came a long
13
way to
hours.
see you.
So yes, we are gonna be, anyway, it's kind of an informal initiatory foray into live vending here in Minneapolis, but we are doing it. And they sent us a gigantic stash of the Zodiac socks. And I think part of this is it's just like crate packing materials because it's like to fill so things didn't get bumped around. So we've got a lot of Zodiac socks. And I think Zodiac socks really make a lot of sense for a 420 event.
Yeah.
So we'll put them out on the table and see if anyone wants some. And also, if anyone who's coming wanted to smell recent Lunacy stuff or Lupercalia stuff, just like let us know and we could bring a tester of it at least. We don't necessarily have stock of all of that stuff to sell, but like if you wanted to smell something before buying it online, we can help you out with that. So yes, that's the spiel. And I guess we should just smell. We have only 3 perfumes. We've already talked for 9.5 minutes.
You better hurry up.
Oh my gosh. I live under pressure. I really come alive. We should actually, our little series used to be called 15 Minutes of Fume, which became kind of a running joke because we managed to never constrain it to 15 minutes.
Ever.
ever, but I liked that there, even if I didn't meet the goal, I liked that there was one. So the very first thing we're gonna sniff today is a brand new scent, never released before, called 4 and 20 Blackbirds. And it is inspired by the classic nursery rhyme, which is hundreds of years old. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, etc., etc., etc. When the pie was opened, I mean, if you're stoned, like you're already like, you know, your mind has wandered. But anyway, this is, it says, the description says, a delicacy to be puffed and then passed, dainty as you please, rye puff pastry crust splitting apart to reveal a cacophony of musky wild blackberries stewed in kush-infused butter. So you've got like a nice weedy gourmand. Pretty much, I mean, it says musky wild blackberries.
Weedy blackberry pie.
A weedy, musky blackberry pie. So let's do it, shall we? Beautiful red-winged blackbird on the label because we've been seeing so many of them here in Minnesota. They're real. It's not just like a cryptid.
They are around.
We don't see them here at our house, but we see them in the park. How do I get
I've not seen any in the house.
Not in the... I mean, like in
no,
the...
I haven't seen any in the house.
In the tree outside the house, like in the neighborhood. They're more of a like in the park situation.
Yeah, I think
Why...
they probably really like hanging out in the park. But I mean, like you see a lot of birds around here.
They're just all new birds. We've got robins, we've got cardinals.
Right, I'm kind of just like trying to be like, well, what is that? What's that?
What's that?
I was in LA for 8 years. What is this bird?
Getting to know the local birds is an essential part of moving.
I can smell it. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a powerhouse. Really beautiful.
Very buttery.
Like buttery, caramelized, dark, fruity, like a tartness from like 6 inches away. Getting closer, I smell the weed.
Oh yeah.
But it's like it's got that homemade edible charm where it is just like the weed is in the butter. I love this. This is giving, it's giving Knave of Hearts from the Beepal General Catalog, which is like a red currant rose tart. And this is just like different berries, different plants. But it's just so beautiful and crusty and like, and strong. I'm gonna just, I can put on as much as I want because I'm not driving, so I won't get pulled over.
They'd be like, did
Nope.
you have a...
Oh, more.
Did you eat a weed pie?
Did you eat a blackbird? I ate 4 and 20 of
4 and 20.
Yeah, the 4 and
ate a lot
20
of them.
name is kind of like telling on yourself.
I ate 4.
I ate 4 and then I ate 20 more.
And 20. Okay. Oh boy.
Why
why
does the song phrase it like that?
I don't know.
Why is it 4 and 20? Is it just because people counted differently in the olden times? I'm having a very stoned interlude without being stoned. Is it just for like to maintain the meter of the poem? Is it just like poetic license? I'm in heaven with this. I love blackberry scents. The lab's various blackberry offerings over the years have just made it into my collection of things that I hoard. What I love about this is the weed element of it really kind of cuts against the sweetness.
Yes.
Because it could just be overpowering, like getting into like Yankee Candle territory with kind of no real depth or mystery. But there is a dankness. The dankness, the deepness.
Yeah, dank.
Oh, it's delightful. It's almost like there's like almost an effervescence, which I think is just like the tartness of the blackberry and the kind of like sawtooth green edge of that kush. You know how when you smell weed in the jar, sometimes it can smell almost fizzy because it's just so like alive smelling?
The crystal.
It's still alive somehow.
Still alive. Just like barely plucked from the
Yes.
plant.
Just like plucked from the plant and then carried like this, like all the way across town where they put it in a little jar and then let you smell it in the dispensary.
Walk around like that. La, la, la.
Oh man,
Yeah, this is really delightful.
this is how much weed I want in my weed smell, to be honest, if I'm going to wear it as a perfume, because I don't want to be followed around by store security everywhere I go. It happens anyway. But yeah, like I don't need the extra help, you know what I'm saying? Because I already like dress like this. Woo! So
Makes me curious to have like an edible pie, like with weed in it, which I've never had.
this is like a town
Like,
where I bet we could
I'm
find
like, that's
one.
kind of interesting.
Yeah,
how
nice
would
big
that go?
slice of pie. I think the danger with edibles is where do you stop? You know? Like the cookies that I used to buy, and it's like, okay, but if I eat more than half of this cookie, I will like go insane and then throw up and then become unconscious. And also once when I was visiting Eric in New York, I brought those cookies with me and they got shattered in my bag. And I ended up trying to like piece together what I thought was half a cookie so that I could enjoy myself when we went to see the horrible Slender Man movie. And I ended up eating way too much of it and had a complete like nervous breakdown during the during the movie. So yeah, that's the real danger with making an edible that's too tasty. However, we bought a beverage, like a THC CBD beverage at our local beveragerie, and it was like a Pineapple Express situation, and I thought, what a fun beverage to split
like
with someone.
fruity and fun.
Like a fun little road soda. And then we drank it, and it
Not
was
the case.
It was vile, and it tasted like an Alka-Seltzer drink. It was like truly medical.
Yeah.
A medical experiment.
Like it didn't have a flavor.
Which I guess is good if you're trying to like, you know,
It felt
limit
like medicine.
Yeah. It was very
Wouldn't
easy.
you want it to be fun? Like when you want it to have like a nice sparkly pineapple flavor? Oh, it's like a kombucha.
There's
or
a
like
sweet spot. There's a bell
fizzy
curve
soda.
for the edible substance where it should be fun, but not so fun that you lose self-control.
And you just like down the whole thing, and then you're like, "That was good." Whoa!
I know. Whoa! And then you like wake up like the next morning hugging the toilet. Right. Well, this is mellowing
Hugging
beautifully.
the toilet. Not like because you're throwing up, but because you have fallen in love.
It is both. Unfortunately, it is both.
I love the toilet.
I love the toilet.
We just understand each other.
You know, I do spend a lot more time, you know, with the toilet than I spend with a lot of other household fixtures. You know? It's an intimate relationship. And it's weirdly like a polyamorous relationship because everyone in the household spends basically the
We
same
probably
amount of time.
shouldn't be talking about toilets so much in a like perfume sniffing video.
Someone
So I'm
says,
gonna just
LOL, toilets are underappreciated.
tap the
That
pause
means you're wrong
button.
because everyone is enjoying this. Okay, so here's what if you see yourself becoming a toilet hugger, if there's an opportunity before imbibing to make sure that that shit is sparkling clean. And that way, later on, when you're having your intimate toilet time, you just like have nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing you want is to be just like sick from over consumption of something. And then as you're there, like crying and just like, you know, going through the experience being like, I really should have cleaned this before.
I can't believe you're still talking. I'm just...
Okay,
we gotta move on.
I'm sorry, but we got like an amusing comment that egged me on.
I know.
This is the danger of like interactive theater. I just deep cleant my toilet this week in gratitude to it. You know, there is like, it's like an animal husbandry thing. Galen is like gonna jump out the window unless we move on.
I'm gonna go.
Okay. Well, the good news is for people who were curious about 4 and 20 Blackbirds, is it does smell pretty much photorealistic to the description. I would not describe it as, like, I'm not getting the musk exactly, but it's hard to tell with the kush. But generally, if you like the sound of the description, then that is what it smells like, and it is quite strong, actually.
Yeah, there is some kind of muskiness, and I feel like that's kind of blending with the weed to make it like a dank situation.
It also kind of invokes the idea of the birds, because I didn't want us to
Sure.
design a
Musky
fragrance
little
that like
birds.
weirdly smells
Like feathers.
like living birds in a pie
In a
crust.
pie
I just
crust.
don't see it, you know, like taking off, as it were.
Like, oh God.
Like Black Swan.
What did you put in
Pull
this
feather
pie?
out of
Oh, it's
bottle.
mostly weed and blackberries, and
Some birds.
there are some birds.
And they seem to be still alive.
How many birds? 4.
Man, 20.
20.
That's too many birds for a pie.
I'm sorry, what?
I think you should, if I was catering this affair, we're talking like little empanadas, and each one has its own little bird in it. I just think that's, it's much more well distributed. Every bite is more likely to be like what you want it to be, you know? Little hand pies.
That's so nice.
I'm folding up the bird in a little like dough blanket.
Yeah.
I fixed it. You know, I like going back through, you know, historical recipes and just like fixing them. So
Putting birds in them.
the birds were already there, and I just feel like they were unattended. Okay, can we please go to the next thing? Even I am tired of myself. It does happen usually every day around this time, especially in the presence of others, because then I talk to them and I can hear what I sound like and the things that I say, and realize that none of this should be happening.
So the next one.
The next one is Revenant Rhythm. This is the kind of like...
True beat pal heads will know what this is.
Old beat pal heads. Yeah, this is one for the record books. This is the reason why so many people were excited about our announcement, because Revenant Rhythm is a legendary limited edition beat pal release. It is a blend of... It says, a tousled, sexy mix of patchouli, vanilla, and hemp. I emphasized every word because there were so few of them in the description. And there is label artwork by the famous Mexican artist Posada. So we've updated that. You just go look at it online. It'll be much better.
Yeah.
So this is just like a classic sweet patchouli, marijuana, vanilla scent, right?
Well, yeah, hemp. It's not like
hemp.
It's not the weed accord. It's the hemp. So there's a difference.
I want to know how different it is, because here's the thing too.
The cannabis accord on our stuff, I think, is very specific. It doesn't smell like weed to me, but it smells stonery.
I'm gonna get in a fight with you about this.
Oh.
Jumps out window. No, I'm not. I really.
Fight.
I am a very peaceful stoner, but or I would be if I was stoned. I wonder, I will say, I have no information, but I wonder how much of this is just framing, because also it was made at a time when maybe Beth would have been more shy about saying like weed, cannabis, or marijuana in a product listing.
Sure.
And maybe hemp at the time, in the olden times of BPAL, would have seemed like a safer bet to say. I'm not really sure. It doesn't smell that different to me. And also there's like a psychosomatic effect where you read something and the way that you read it changes the way that you think about it. So I'm just saying there's room for interpretation, and I'd love to hear from other people in the comments about whether they think that, because a lot of you have Revenant Rhythm, older releases of it, is the hemp in Revenant Rhythm different than the cannabis accord that we have used in other fragrances?
I think it is.
Galen says yes. I say nah. I don't have like a deep conviction. So, but we haven't made this in a long time, and it is more expensive on the site than it used to be, and more expensive than the other ones in this release, because currently patchouli and vanilla are just too expensive components. And if we're gonna do a big old patchouli vanilla fragrance, then unfortunately we have to charge what it costs to make it. So, but that is so much better than not making it, in my opinion. So I have to say, I'm gonna come out there and say...
Someone says yes, different.
Someone says yes, different. Okay, but like, did you just type that from like a burner phone when I wasn't looking? So
Yes, I just like this.
people are already arguing about it.
I think it is this. I'm watching us on a weird burner phone that is just off screen.
People
Different.
Someone says it's different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so far I'm outvoted, but also none of you have
This
any
feels
proof.
right. This
I'm just
feels
saying we
better.
don't know. I'm just saying.
Hot take, Galen is right sometimes.
Well, that is a hot take.
Yeah.
But I have to like.
But I am.
I'm willing to hear that, even if I disagree. Anyway, people are obsessed with this fragrance, and we haven't made it in what, like 5 years?
I think about 5 years. I feel like it came out in 2019. We did a revamp of it.
Because before that we had done Banshee Beat.
Yes, its original name is Banshee Beat, which was a Urban Outfitters collaboration. Is that what it was? Is that how it was being sold?
I don't know why you're asking me because I was not born. I don't know.
I thought you knew.
I thought that we
would have to look on the forum.
So like here, what
I think that we had a deal with Urban Outfitters where we sold that.
I don't think there was ever. I don't know. Okay, what's funny about this is my understanding of why the name changed is completely different and is in reference to like intellectual property concerns with something else.
I could be wrong. I haven't read the forum page for it for a really long time.
Well, there's lore out there, and all we will do, instead of speaking authoritatively, is point to the lore, and you can go to the bpal.org web forum and hunt around and see what people have said. And largely, those people may also just be saying things that are unsubstantiated also. We at the lab love an unsubstantiated rumor, right? We'll just, So someone said that they thought it was an IP thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's for my own safety
I
sometimes that I don't know things.
I just can't remember.
It might be.
Didn't do my
I just saw in the I'm like, what is that thing? Is that a thumbnail in the corner? But it's Disco's little bunny ears and flower head. It's like, I thought we just did a photo shoot with Disco for these perfumes, and I didn't realize that those were actually on camera. So if you've been looking at them and wondering if they were going to be featured, the answer
like crap falling off
was no, but now it is yes. So here, put this on. Okay. Well, after a lengthy preamble, let's get into a little R&R, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna timestamp this in the caption at the beginning of all of this, just to be sadistic, so that people have to get to our level of giddiness to even join in the fun of the sniff. It is so strong.
It is.
So we smelled this last night because we couldn't keep our mitts off of it. You and me and Ashton all tried it on, and when I woke up this morning and I came out here to do my exercises, I could still smell it, and it was like someone had been partying in here.
God, this smells good.
Yes. We could just move on to the next one and
I
be like,
feel
oh,
like
it smells so good.
Different than it did yesterday. Like there's just like already that like,
well,
it's just like settled in a little bit.
It did just arrive in the mail yesterday. It had a very bumpy journey to get here.
Oh my God. Okay, so also if you have watched our 15 minutes of Fume videos in the past, you know that this is my favorite perfume.
It's a golden
just
classic.
Very excited to have it.
You wear your old one regularly.
Yes.
Even though it's extremely limited.
Yeah. I have backup.
So we have to describe it for people who've never smelled this before. What I would say is it is like a fantasy hippie smell. This is like what you would have hope if you were like a hippie, what you would imagine you would smell like. One of the good ones.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm not clean, but I'm not filthy. I'm tousled, but I'm not unkempt. You know?
I'm drunk, but I'm sober. I'm here, but I'm really gone.
Have I told you my story about that song from high school? I hate to do this to people. We used to make fun of this girl at our school who was rich, and we would sing that song about her, but the second thing would always be like, I'm rich. I'm drunk, but I'm rich.
Oh, right.
I do, but I'm really rich.
Yes.
And then we'd get to chicken shit and we'd change it to chicken rich. And it was just about her and how she's rich.
Chicken rich.
I'm chicken rich. It was kind of like this build up to a long punchline.
It's all about chicken rich.
It's like cash poor but chicken rich. Okay. I swear it's making me goofy. Okay, so it has like a deep resinous, like brown syrupy smell. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And
I
like
get
a
that.
kind of the patchouli, instead of being like really dry and scratchy, goes almost like chewy and squishy. And I think it's like that's like where the vanilla is like really felt, because it just kind of like softens it, and it really the one from the Gory collection we smelled recently of the dregs of the vanilla extract reminds me of this a lot, because it has that same like deep gunkiness, like the dark sticky syrupy. But this has like a really really beautifully muffled edge to it because of that hemp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the skin. I didn't even put it on yet. Like the vanilla really lifts it out of the muck, you know, dusts it off, gives it a part-time job at the record store, you know, and then now you're like relatively upstanding citizen, and you know have enough income to like really get your zine going or whatever. I want more.
Finally gonna start. Hold on, let me put some on first. I'm
greedy.
Come on.
I'm a piggy little thing.
My goodness.
It's a Caligari quote.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You just let me do this. Outraged. Oh my god. It's just my favorite thing.
It's just like so distinctive. It's just beautiful. Like all three of us last night, we were watching a movie and we're all just like
Imitation of Life.
We were
not just
watching Douglas
not
Sirk's-
just a movie.
a movie, you know.
Douglas Sirk's Imitation of Life.
1959 melodrama about, you know, the evils of internalized racism and misogyny.
I feel like it was a good companion scent to the movie.
I mean, she does go to the village.
The village.
She goes to the village.
Yeah. The universal backlot.
The village. It just has a kind of a burn on it. Like it really lures you in with this like smoothness, and then there's like this wonderful poofy like cloud of vanilla, and then just kind of like a nice burn, like an afterburn.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of like an Ouroboros.
Yes.
It's like you get the patchouli. No, the vanilla, the patchouli again.
If my tail smelled like this, I'd be eating it all day. You know what I'm saying?
It just kind of...
It's just a good thing I'm
tumbles.
not a snake.
Tumbles.
It does.
Tossles.
Well, it does. It does. It really kind of like has this beautiful like circular... I like this with fragrances that are a well-balanced like trio of notes.
Yeah.
Because you find yourself kind of going on the journey in like a circle again and again, and I think that's what makes some sense like this so addictive.
Yes.
Is it's like you get to have the stages. It's kind of like the way that you eat little candies when you're a kid, and it's like first I like, you know, suck the dye off of it, and then I crack the shell with my teeth, and then I like slurp out the chocolate, which is by now melty. Like that kind of little ritual you get.
Yes.
With certain things.
Yes.
And some scents are like that too.
Yeah, they really are.
I've been doing that with my Tic Tacs. Isn't that sick? I mean, not that they're not chocolate in them. I'm just saying, like, I have like my whole little like Tic Tac ritual.
And I feel like that the hemp adds like a kind of like a hearty. I don't know.
It's like a dry grass, I will say.
Yeah,
there's like
just some kind of like a texture in there.
It takes you close to the earth without just like plunging you down into it. But yes, it has this kind of like winds. Remember Onibaba?
I do.
The movie Onibaba, and it's set in like the grasslands of feudal Japan, and there's just like endless shots, some deliciously slow motion shots of the grass is just like rippling in the wind. And it becomes a whole like psychic backdrop for the events. Yeah, there's like a real like a dryness that's where the kind of edge comes from. honestly. It's like the way that like
Yeah.
like with the grass, when you're like touching the grass and you're afraid to get it cut
Yeah.
from the grass.
Yeah.
But it's still such like a gentle, delicate thing,
Yeah.
you know? And then what makes it so stonerific, I think, though, is like the gentleness that surrounds it, because like the way that like when you're stoned, you can kind of like move through the world in kind of like a cloud of apparent benevolence. And that cloud is often penetrated. Like, this is what's so funny about stoner comedy, is like a character trying to do that, and then like intrusions arising that force them, like basically like to deal with
Yeah.
harsh realities.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, we watched Smiley Face recently.
Mm-hmm.
Pineapple Express is always a good time. What are your other favorite stoner comedies?
I mean, all of Broad City,
All of Broad City.
which I just
Oh, yes,
would recommend.
absolutely.
Is a great way to spend a day. Not watching all of it, but at least like, you know, going through a season or something.
Someone says, I have my Revenant Rhythm hair gloss room spray 10 feet away, but then I would have to stand up. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Someone, I think they asked a comment. It says, someone please make that film with you as the main characters. That is our whole life. Someone, I think, asked if it was similar to the previous, if it was the same as the previous iteration of Revenant Rhythm. If it faded before I could read it. I think that's what you asked. We actually had a side-by-side last night and smelled them, and kind of determined that they were definitely the same, and any margin of difference was
Purely with aging.
well within the margin of like being 5 years apart
being like
in
5,
age.
yeah, and just getting nice and
like you may
rich.
find if you order the new one that you still prefer the one that you had bought 5 years ago, because it's just that much more like goopy and dank. So
right.
But like that where it is, this one will one day be,
Right.
and so forth.
Yeah.
It's just it's long lasting. I could still smell it on my skin this morning when I woke
Yes.
up also.
I mean, like we both tried it on, and then like, I'm like, did we watch The Ring first and then Imitation of Life? Like, because I just remember like smelling my hand like hours later, and I was like, oh my god, I can still smell it, and it smells so good.
We
like
picked such questionable movies for like, we were not stoned yesterday, but like in terms of watching movies while stoned, like The Ring and then Imitation of Life. I mean,
These
actually
were both movies that we had started a few days ago.
Imitation
so
of
it was,
Life
like,
is a
kind of-
great movie to watch while stoned, because
Oh, absolutely. I think The Ring is
everything
also a great movie to watch.
so
stoned.
heightened.
Yes.
If you can do horror while stoned, though, because sometimes if you're stoned enough, like the discomfort of the horror movies can be like truly unpleasant.
Yeah.
So like the Slender Man movie, which is incomprehensible dreck, but like still terrorized me into submission.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a movie theater in Brooklyn that was like in the basement, because like movie theaters in New York City generally are terrible. And so I was like basically just like in a hole in the ground with the Slender Man. Not good. So
I think it's not necessarily a stoner movie, but another one that I would say is a good stoner movie is Death Proof, because there is at least weed smoking in it, and
Yes.
it has a stoner energy. They're just hanging,
it's true.
and then getting chased in a car / chasing in a car. You know, there's just like good stonery vibes.
Same with like, I mean, a lot of Tarantino is like
Yes.
that. Like Jackie Brown.
Yeah. Oh, Jackie Brown is a great stoner movie, and there's actually a lot of
Stoning.
weed smoking in it. Yeah.
Right. Or like The Big Lebowski, which we showed.
Oh my god! Of course.
I showed most of it to Ashton recently, and he just hated it. But I thought that was cute, because I actually, the first time I watched The Big Lebowski, I also hated it and was like, why does anyone like this? And then it only resolved for me later when I made someone else watch it, and I got to enjoy watching them have that reaction.
Mhm.
And then it had grown on me like a
Mhm.
fungus. So shall we smell the last one?
Let's do it.
The last one that we have today is Stoned Bunny Blow Mold. We've been doing a series over the past years. Someone says I hated it. Will I like it if I watch it again? Will you be able to laugh at yourself if you don't? You might like it more, because like I think part of what's frustrating with The Big Lebowski, if you don't know it, is
Where
like,
is this going?
where is this going? And once you kind of like know, and you can just relax and bumble through the world of the movie. It's like watching a video game playthrough, kind of characters just like playing a game wrong.
And you have like the suspense element taken out of it, then you kind of just appreciate these characters and what they're struggling to do.
And like the creativity of just like the way that it's filmed, which is kind of it's satisfying in its own right. That being said, you can also just not like things, and no one can make you watch something.
It's true.
Okay, Bunny.
We have Stone Bunny. It is hard to say. Bunny blow mold, and then there's also Bunny in The Big Lebowski.
It's a little too funny.
It's a little too funny.
It's so
hey,
funny
Bunny?
that I dare not laugh.
All right.
Okay, we've been doing this series of blow mold fragrances inspired by classic holiday like blow mold plastic shell yard decorations. Getting into the spirit of things. A lot of vintagey ones you see out there. They do still make new ones, but even a lot of the new ones are inspired by old designs because if they have the mold for them, they can just keep cranking them out. Like I think my pumpkin one is actually newer because it's like a different color palette and whatever, but the original mold was probably vintage.
Sure.
Anyway, so we had seen this
Stoned Bunny Blues.
Oh, that's great.
That is fun.
Yes. So this one was inspired by the fact that the Easter Bunny blow mold that we saw was like particularly
kind
just
of tripping out,
unhinged, like blown out, pupils down to like pinpoints. Great. You good? It's a bunny where this reminds me of once when I had been doing mushrooms and I was when we went to Coney Island, and then on the way back, 2 different people on the subway tried to buy drugs from me because I looked
suspicious,
whacked out. Okay, so that's how I looked. The description says, looks like someone's been nibbling a bit too much grass. A sun-faded, plasticky shell of rice milk and marshmallow, illuminated from within by 420 watts of weed-wafted glowing green amber. This is a weird scent.
Weed-wafted glowing green amber.
Yes. Weed-wafted glowing green amber.
Alliteration.
We at the lab love our alliteration.
Weed-wafted
Sometimes
glowing green amber.
It's the only thing that keeps me going sometimes.
Stone Bunny blow mold.
I like that this references like some things like you're either kind of in or out, I feel like, with a scent like this, because it even says that it's plasticky in the scent.
Right.
You're a weirdo if you like this, and you're a weirdo if you want this, even if you don't like it. Like, I feel like you're just a weirdo if you're watching this.
Are you a weirdo?
There's like 18 weirdos watching us right now.
All right.
And 7 of them liked the video. So, doubly weird.
Okay.
Are you ready to get in here?
Yeah.
All right.
It's so silly.
There's like a punchline to it, right? Because it's like, well, I don't know what I was expecting. It smells like a toy.
It does smell like a toy.
It has a really lovely, pale, milky, plasticky scent. It's a subtler scent than the last 2 we've smelled. Because, Revenant Rhythm is dark-sided, and 420 Blackbirds is just like a booming gourmand. And a soft, pale, plasticky, ambery scent is just in a whole different league.
It's like a...
It's like the end of Ghost, which is a great stoner movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
To the end of Ghost, when he actually finally gets called into the light.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's like that.
I don't think any stoning happens in the movie. I don't think they get high together.
No, but it is just kind of like fun to watch stone.
Yes, and it has like really scary moments.
Yeah.
But it also will make you cry. And then there's that also like the weird like psychic threesome moment.
Yeah, it'll make you think.
It really will make you think.
What's going on here?
I think we burbled about this movie.
Also, like Tony Goldwyn is so bad in it, but he is really hot.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
he also played the friend on Designing Women who was dying of AIDS.
Oh, that's right. And apparently he had like a hard time getting a job after Ghost because people were like, "You killed Patrick Swayze."
And then Patrick Swayze died in real life. So now he must...
And he's like, "It's not me."
He went into hiding. There's no way legally we'll be able to prove we weren't stoned while filming this because of the way we are. Okay, so the rice milk. The rice milk. We both said it simultaneously.
The rice milk in here, because I remember when we smelled this yesterday, I was like, I couldn't remember that rice milk was in it, but now that I'm smelling it, I'm like, I'm definitely getting that.
It's delicate.
So nice.
It's delicate. The marshmallow is delicate. The rice milk is delicate. It's not super sweet. It's like the faint ghost of sweetness. That's what the sun will do. It's like completely sun faded. It's just, yeah, it's like bright and soft and relatively clean, but it does have that weed in it.
It does.
I want to, I'm gonna slather.
I want to smell it.
I want to slather. Can't stop me. Watch out. Oil slick. I'm gonna like put it on my most like stonerific tattoo, which is this like weird little like pin-headed like chicken goblin that I got from Rainbows of Pain. And it's the kind of tattoo when people see it that they're gonna immediately imagine that they can in fact buy mushrooms from me. Because no sober person would have gotten this tattoo.
They're like, you know where to get the stuff.
It's amazingly desaturated, and like the sweetness
very ambery on the skin.
It's very like vaporous.
Mm-hmm.
It truly smells like a ghostly scent.
It does. Is the bunny dead?
Is the Easter bunny a ghost? The ghost of a dead bunny?
Oh, well, I love talking about my childhood Easter trauma, which is that when my
Buckle in, everyone. I just did the reaction like they do to Rose on Golden Girls, and she's like, "This reminds me of one time in St. Olaf." Go on.
When I was little, and I remember my mom would be like, "Okay, I have to go meet the Easter bunny outside. Don't look out the window." And I remember just kind of being like, "Is there a giant bunny outside that my mom knows, and like they hide these eggs together?" It just really freaked me out, and I was so scared that I wouldn't look out the window, even though I was really curious. And we had a window overlooking the yard, and I just remember being really scared about a large bunny. That's my childhood.
This is like a group. I feel like we're in a group therapy session.
It was kind of a relief to know that he's not real.
What are you talking about? It's not real.
Just like, what?
Someone asked a question while you were rambling incoherently about. No, it was semi-coherent.
I was being re-traumatized.
You were re-traumatizing yourself. Like,
in my head, he was pink too, and I was just like, "Oh, this is too much." Okay.
In my head, he was
this
pink.
Giant pink bunny. That's
okay.
Sized.
Someone asked if the rice milk was like buttery or like watery or like light and airy.
It's kind of sticky. Like there's a slight stickiness.
That's fascinating because I disagree, and I was gonna say it really does smell kind of like watery, thin rice milk to me. But it's very hard to tell because, again, there's like the amber seems to be growing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the plastickiness is connected to the amberiness. The rice milk is just like a kind of like a nice like faint trace. It kind of gives a little texture or like gradation to the like whiteness of it all. Because if it was just pure marshmallow fluff or whatever, it would be very one note. And instead, it's like several light notes that are kind of stacked. And it really makes it difficult to like pick them apart.
Mm-hmm. Someone said Easter bunnies don't make people sit on their laps, and
that's not true.
That's not true. It depends on the.
I mean, the Easter bunny didn't
Easter
make
event
me
you
do
go
it.
to, but also I was scared of the Santas.
I have a picture of myself at a mall in the 80s, sitting on the Easter bunny's lap.
And I have pictures
looking
of me
unhappy.
looking very uncomfortable on Santa's lap. Like, Mom, what's going on? Who is this? It's like, just like, I'm desperate to get away from whatever is happening.
The weed in this one is so interesting because it kind of reminds me of that. Okay, so we used to go to Green Earth Collective, this dispensary that we went to in Highland Park, and it like a nice brightly lit dispensary of the future where you can smell the weed, but everything is like bright and clean.
Yeah,
that's what this is like.
You're like, I know what's going on here.
It's like a weed grocery store smell.
But it's well lit, and I'm not scared.
The fact that there are the whole thing actually has a kind of it's like grocery store aisle, right? Because it's like the marshmallow and the plastic.
Sure.
And the rice milk. It's like a grocery store that also sells weed.
They call that a dispensary.
It's like lightly warm. This is like a skin scent on me. kind of at this point, but it does also make me smell like a My Little Pony, like an old My Little Pony. Like if you could
Yes.
like pop off the head and then bury your nose inside the neck of the My Little Pony.
Can you get the head back on?
Usually.
Whew.
Sometimes.
Do not rip the head off My Little Pony.
Some of them were like
My Little Pony.
glued on better than others. Like some of them did not come off, and then some of them were like, you know.
Whoa.
I did that in the disco
barked. He was like, I heard that.
Yeah. So what we have here, I think overall, is like a really interesting like flight of 3 different variations on a theme. We're hitting several different scent profiles, and hopefully there's something there for folks who are interested in a bit of the green.
If not all 3 of them.
Not just the rose / fruit scented ones. Oh yes, they're talking about the ponies. Yes, Galen's horror at the
horrified.
Yeah. Fortunately, I had 2 little sisters, and they had all of the girl toys that I wanted to play with, and because they were younger, they were great at ruining things, and so I was rarely blamed.
I often found pony heads.
There were just, you know,
right around. Not mine. Mine were well connected. They did not, no head popping off.
I like the idea of a clean scent that is also kind of like deliberately plasticky. So it's like clean but not pure. Does that make sense? It's like light and airy and clean, but also like kind of like corrupted. And it does give it like a vintagey quality.
Someone has been putting weed in their My Little Pony body. And
that would be a great way
to... That's actually a great stash.
We cannot give... This is not legal advice.
No, we're just...
Put it in a pony.
We're just spitballing here.
A little road pony.
Yeah. Be like, they'll never look in the pony, especially the scented one. Still.
The scented pony.
Scented.
Well, you could just scent the pony yourself. That's what like the atmosphere sprays are for. We should make a pony spray.
My minuscule horse Atmo spray.
My infinitesimal equine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
the thing I like about the glow mold ones in general, is it glow mold or blow mold?
It's blow mold because
I feel like we go
puffed with air.
Oh, I feel like I call them both of those things.
You do, and I find it adorable.
I never really know what I'm talking about. I like how often whenever we smell them, we equate it to like, this smells like an 80s toy.
Yes.
But there are so many different ways in which an 80s toy could smell. So you have like the amber and the
like, for example, the hula hoops. Full circle. We just brought it back. Full circle. Get it? Hula hoop. Full circle.
Scented playthings.
Someone asked about this one, the blow mold, how strong the weed note is in it. And I want to say...
I would say mild.
It is a milder one, but it is there. Like,
it's there.
When I'm burying my nose into the crook of my lanky little arm, I'm mainly getting the creamier, amberier elements.
Mm-hmm.
About several inches back, it definitely has that kind of weed glow where it's like contaminated. But it's not like something about the patchouli plus weed sells the weed because it's like, yeah, obviously, like,
yeah,
is Janis Joplin here? Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, is she the Easter Bunny?
We have no proof that she's not.
Is that less scary?
No, I think it's more scary. Because she's a little out of control. And so now I'm picturing an out-of-control Easter Bunny.
Yes.
With, like, a boa on and beads.
I read a great biography of her. I probably tell the story. Every video, unconsciously repeating myself. Ooh, cardinal on the tree. But in Janis Joplin bio that I read, she was on tour with Tina Turner toward the end of her young, sweet life. And Tina Turner was performing her set, and Janis Joplin, 3 sheets to the wind, just like kind of like staggered out on stage from the wings because no one managed to like lasso her.
Sure.
And had no idea where she was.
She was on the loose?
Yeah, she's just prowling the theater. And the audience went wild, and Tina Turner like brought her on stage and gave her a microphone, and they sang a duet, and Janis came alive and sang the whole thing, and then Tina then escorted her to the side and like handed her over to like the stage manager, and they just like led her back to like a pile of cushions somewhere.
Like let her lay down.
Yeah, she was just not supposed to be there yet. It was like an unprompted, unplanned Janis cameo.
Mm-hmm.
So, Revenant Rhythm is like for sure the Janis scent of these. for sure.
That's the blackbird. Yeah. Yes, I agree. I feel like Janis Joplin would kind of smell like Revenant Rhythm.
That blackberry is singing. It is so beautiful. Just like a little bit tart, a little bit sparkly. I would say the weed is almost a little more forward in the blow mold just because there isn't another full-bodied scent note like flattening it. You know? Like I can detect it. It's not super strong, but I can detect it. It's very noticeable. With Blackbird, it's kind of a little, it's got competition.
And I would say the opposite of that, which is that I smell it more in the pie and less on the bunny.
This is why it's so important to have a wealth of
I thought you were smelling my arm, and then I was like, what are you doing to my
No,
hand?
I would never smell your arm.
What's happening in my hand?
No. I was just saying this is why it's important to have a wealth of perspectives and that fragrance is a world.
Asleep.
Oh my God, I know. Did you watch the Ring video?
Yeah, and that's how it starts.
We were making a joke about how you watch the video and after 7 days you're like falls
because
asleep.
That happened last night where we were watching it and then I got up and I was like, oh, my entire leg is asleep, and I hobbled into the kitchen and then hobbled back like, oh my, I can't believe I have to do this right now.
That's the PG version of the movie.
It's terrible.
So we have to go now because I have to just
we have to go.
Yeah, we have to leave. I have to send out an email to everyone about the stuff here that we're doing, and we have to prepare for the event this weekend. And time is just flying by. I have no concept of time except that it is rich.
It's another Alanis.
I like watching it.
Yeah.
It was like a marble run in your brain.
I got it. I was like, what?
Thank you for sitting with us for 56 whole minutes. I hope you have a wonderful 420, whether you're sober or not, and that all of your Easter wishes come true, even if your wishes are to basically ignore that it's happening.
All of your Easter wishes. Have you made them yet? Have you wrote your list for the Easter bunny?
It's Disco. Disco's the new Easter bunny.
Okay, well, I would not be scared of the Easter bunny if it was Disco.
Well, I have good news for you. Everyone knows this, and we've been waiting for the right moment to tell you, but Disco is the new Easter bunny.
What a great job for him.
Yes, but it means that he will not be able to live with us anymore because he has to live in like the egg palace.
Oh.
You know, and like he'll be very busy. So
he'll be very busy planning where to put all those eggs.
Someday when he dies, I'll be like, it's not sad, he's the Easter bunny now. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Yes, we've said goodbye like 3 times now. One of these times it'll stick. Have a wonderful weekend. Disco, yes, our new Lord and Savior, he is risen.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to everyone out there except for the jerks who are trying to ruin the whole world.
Yeah.
And you can be a little hard on them because nothing else is working. Bless their hearts. See like one of you Sunday.
Bye.
Boop. Oh, turn